Well, hello everybody. Welcome tonight. Thought we'd do something a little bit different here. I thought we would take a look at this brand new 3DS emulator. Make sure I have the chat open. All right. Well, I'll wait till somebody shows up here before we get started too much. Just because I want to make sure that the audio's okay before we get started. All right. Well, so Azahar is a brand new open source 3DS emulator. This actually released today. I mean, literally like a few hours ago. So hopefully this will be new to some of you. The nice thing, of course, about this is we get to be here on the bottom, the ground floor, I should say, to take a look at this guy. Okay, good. Hey, Fragger. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Just let me know when I start the gaming if the gaming gets a little out of hand. I think I got everything balanced this time, so hopefully we won't have any nonsense. Thanks so much for dropping in, those of you who are amongst us here. So this Azahar, again, this is based on Citra, along with Lime 3DS. And I'm sure Pablo MK7 has been sitting on a whole bunch of goodies that he's been holding on to because of Nintendo. So I'm very excited to show you this. Now, if you're here expecting me to show you Nintendo games, I'm not going to show you any Nintendo games. So I apologize in advance if you came here to see Nintendo games. But it's real easy to get a hold of this guy. You go over to their GitHub. And on their GitHub, there's a version of this for pretty much every system you can imagine. For those of you who are here, here's the releases here. This was released 3 hours ago, brand new release. Android, Mac, Windows, Linux, and yes, if you're here to see Steam Deck version of this, I'm not going to show it to you tonight, but I can tell you that tomorrow you guys should be ready for a pretty neat surprise. All right, so enough of this nonsense. Let's go ahead and get into this thing. So we'll start here, and it's a simple executable. There's no BIOS to download or anything, so that's kind of nice for a change. You don't have to do a lot of heavy setup. Now, it will tell you right here, this is important, encrypted files and 3DS files are no longer supported. Decrypting and or renaming to CCI may be necessary. So I didn't realize it was playing encrypted files before, but this is the part where I have to say with peace and love, downloading games from the internet is piracy. There's no legal way of doing it, even if you own the game, etc., etc. However, I will tell you that they're very interested, Azahar, in allowing you to do something called this Arctic base. Essentially, in your modded 3DS system, you can actually stick a cartridge in and send it over here, right? That's so great. It's like its own little server. So that's kind of cool. I won't get deep into that, but I do want to dispel the idea that 3DS files are no longer supported. Now, I have a CCI file. This is Resident Evil Revelations, which it says the compatibility is bad. Don't worry, we're going to look at it and I'm going to show it to you. But if you load a file and you are in your folder with your ROMs, right? And you try to load a 3DS file, it'll load just fine. So I think that they're absolving themselves of the whole .3DS to try to keep Nintendo off their backs. I don't know. But in any event, if you have 3DS files laying around, if you want to see them in the interface here, you'll need to rename them to CCI. If you don't care, or you're going to run it through a front end, leave them as 3DS. That's okay. So let's go ahead and look at Sonic and All-Star Racing's Transform because it does play very well. I wanted to start off with something that looked great. Does a little bit of shader building. And I'll blow this up. So we're in the default screen mode, which of course is touchscreen on the bottom and the main screen at the top. Please, again, let me know how the audio is coming over. Appreciate that. Let's just go ahead and skip out of this. Now, I've got the controller set up And I will tell you that you have to do it yourself. And we'll go over that too. I just want to show you a little something, tickle you with a feather a little bit here. And then we're going to go in and we're going to do oversampling. We're going to do all that good stuff. I just wanted you to see a little bit first, and then we'll dig in a little bit.
Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformer Career.
How's my audio over there, Q Fragger? Hopefully you're still around.
World Tour. Select a Sunshine Coast. Ocean View. Choose your
I just want to get into a game so you guys can see it.
Sonic.
I'm just going to just
select
drill
an upgrade.
through this. No
Standard.
upgrades. All right. So this works, like I said, this works remarkably well. It's been a while, though, since I've been into the 3DS emulation.
3, 2, 1, go!
All right, so if you look down at the bottom, you can see our frame rates holding between 55 and 60. Now, obviously, my eyes, the goggles do nothing, right? But you can see it definitely performs quite well for what it is. All right, now, obviously, if you're going blind looking at this, I wouldn't blame you. And, of course, if you have a PC or a Steam Deck, you'll want to play the native version. But let's see what we can do with this to sort of improve things, shall we? First thing we'll do is we're going to do a single screen layout. That'll just let us see the top screen instead of the touch screen at the bottom. So let's see if that actually helps. And actually, it does help a little bit. I mean, it's still pixely as hell, but, you know, listen. At least it's bigger, right? See our pickups, get our boost. All right, we got to be able to do better than this, right? I mean, come on. I've got a very well-spec'd PC here. This game should be looking like a champ, so let's see if we can actually make that happen. So we'll go to emulation, we'll go to configure, and this is your control layout, by the way. Now, a lot of these emulators have like a drop-down that says just map it to this controller, and it works. Unfortunately, what you're going to have to do here is, yes, you're going to have to basically set every button yourself. That's fine. You only have to do it once. They do have profiles that you can do and lay it out. And turn this down. I'm probably screaming a little bit. Yeah, so you've got that. So that's okay, and you can do some scaling and all that good stuff. But let's go to our graphics. That's what you guys want to see, right? You guys want to see us boost this up a little bit. So let's do that. So we start off with our internal resolution, right? So this is native, 400 by 240. Can you believe that? That's what the 3DS is, natively, 400 by 240. Woo. All right, so what we can do here is we can size it automatically to our window size, which is probably where you're going to end up landing, but I want to do this in a little more gradient fashion, shall we? Let's see what happens if we do 2x. Just 2x resolution. Let's see what that does for us. Oh, well, that automatically looked better. Let's take a look. Definitely, right? Now we got ourselves a game here, huh? All right, that's looking pretty good, but I think we can do better. Back to our config. Back to graphics. Let's double that. Let's make it 4x native, 1600 by 960. Yes, yes. Ooh, now that looks actually pretty good. Let's get some action going here. We're not talking PC specs here, of course, but no, that does look really good. I mean, considering where we started now. There's got to be a diminishing return on investments, right? I mean, the more we give, are we still holding 60? According to the bottom, it says we are. 100% speed. All right. Let's take another peek here. Back to configure. Should we double it again? What say ye? Yeah, let's double it again. Why not? Let's go to 8. Well, see, now 8's higher than my actual screen resolution, right? Let's try 6, because I'm on a 1440 display. Ooh, that actually is looking kind of crispy. I just got swarmed. Glad I missed it. Oh, nope, there it is. I picked the wrong one.
Evaded swarm.
But I did evade the swarm. This actually looks really good, doesn't it? I mean, considering this is a 3DS game, it looks pretty dang good. And it says we're still holding 60. Doesn't quite feel like 60. I don't know, maybe it is. I'm sure it's harder to tell on the video and the YouTube end. But yeah, that looks good. Can we do better? Can we boost this up even more? Maybe. Let's go find out. So we're at 6. Let's go to 8. Eventually, we have to be able to bust this thing, right? Wow. All right. You can see the text, of course, doesn't... wait a minute.
Final lap.
Frame drop?
Lead
No.
lap.
Gotta get to the boat now. Wow. You can really make a 3DS game look really good. It's been a long time since I've played this side. Look at that. That looks really, really good. Sorry, I'm busy paying attention to everything else other than actually playing. Looks great though, right? There's probably a little bit more we can do here. Now, we're still holding 60. We could probably even boost this a little bit more. I see, 10 seems to top us out, right? That's 4,000 by 2,400. Yeah, why not? Let's see what that looks like. I mean, I think we've kind of like, I don't know. I would say it doesn't look significantly better. And the frame rate, well, the frame rate's still holding. How about that? Very impressive. I don't know what it looks like over there, but it's pretty good live. A long time since I've played this, obviously. There's my swarm. Not bad. You'll notice the text, of course, doesn't get any help, but you know, what can we do? All right, now there's probably one more thing we can do here if we go into the configuration, graphics. So we can do some post-processing shader stuff. There's nothing in here. I'm assuming this is going to be a plugin. You could have texture filters. Yeah, I mean, what do we got here? I don't know what all of this is. I know what bicubic is. Now let's try that and see what happens. Ooh, did you see how it just kind of got all fuzzy? I don't think that's the right plan right there. No. I'm trying to make it look better, not worse. What about this anime for? These are just filters. They're not like anti-aliasing or anything. It looks like so. Just kind of curious what that. Ew. I think we'll just leave that off. So that's pretty much the best we can do, right? Let's go back to none. One of the things that they were promoting here was the stereoscopic 3D mode. So supposedly, when it's off, right, they've got some code in there that instead of rendering both eyes anyway and only showing you one of them, they've got a way to only render one of them, which is supposed to make this incredible increase in performance. Something we could test at a later time. All right, so let's take our now that we've seen what it looks like when it's great. Let's go back to native, just for giggles, and see what it looked like before we had all the fun. I don't see anything in the chat. You know, I've had this problem with this before. Let me pop the chat out here. Maybe just nobody cares. It's possible. Everyone will care tomorrow when it's in Emudeck. Top chat, live chat. Here we go. No? Okay. It's all good. All right, so that's enough of this. Let's get on to something else. I got other stuff to look at. So we can stop. Now, CIAs are eShop titles, so you can install a CIA. Now, I haven't done this before today, so we're going to try it out together. Heavy Fire Special Operations. I've always had a weird sort of love for Heavy Fire. You know, I'm just that kind of guy. So we do an install. Oh, it's encrypted, so no can do. So in this case, you would have to decrypt the CIA before you can install it. That's good. I mean, I'm glad I had something that was encrypted so you can see what it looks like. So much for installing the CIA. So let's try something else. Again, this gets really old. And this is one of the, this is a shooter that I've always loved, and my controls are kind of bass-ackwards for it. But we'll do what we can. So this is Nano Assault, and I've always loved this game. It's got a very Geometry Wars 3 feel to it. And I did play a little of this earlier, to be totally fair. All right, so I'm on the second level here. And you're supposed to fire with the 4 face buttons, but I've got them sort of like Xbox laid out, not 3DS laid out, so you'll have to forgive me when I shoot funky. Okay, so this is a boss fight. That sucks. This actually looks really good in 3D. If you happen to have a real 3DS, this is absolutely great. All right, this doesn't look right. You know what? Let's go back here. Hang on. Let me show you that first level again, because... yeah, at least you can see something there. The boss level just isn't really fair. Again, this is like your standard, kind of a twin-stick shooter. If I had my way, I would just map this to the other joystick. But, all right, so you can move the vehicle around. By the way, this looks really good in 3D. Did I mention that? So, you got to go click on the DNA things. So this is your tutorial level, but it gives you an opportunity to see things a little bit easier. All right, so now you can shoot left and right. Of course, I'm hitting different buttons, so whatever. All right, so the idea is it's a twin-stick shooter basically, where you're using the face buttons to shoot. All right, so let's see what we can do with this. Now, this is obviously native, right? So we've decided that with my PC and my configuration, we should be able to pretty much up this to 10x native, right? Let's do that. Let's give it. I want to see what this thing looks like if we're playing on my PC. So this is as close as we're going to get. Ooh. Wow, that does look better, doesn't it? You can change to a spread versus a more concise firing. Then, of course, eventually you'll have somebody to shoot at. But yeah, it looks really good. And oops, sorry, this is another one of those 60 FPS games, which is great. So it gives us an opportunity to see. Now this actually feels like 60 frames per second. I don't know how it's coming over there. Damn it. It sucks when these buttons are completely backwards. Maybe I should put them back to hands. Let's do that. That's a good exercise for us. We'll go to emulation, configure, go to our controls, and now what I'll do is for my face buttons, I'll actually do it in the Nintendo layout. So A, B, X, and Y. That should fix my firing problem, so I don't look completely incompetent. Ooh, boss battle. Okay, this is much easier. I can actually shoot what I'm aiming at. Looks great. Now, this is at 10x. How wonderful. How wonderful to be able to play these games. See, this is a game that I would buy again on the PC. If they would just release it on the PC, I would totally buy this as a PC. Pretty neat. All right, let's look at something that doesn't quite play as well, right? That's we have to do that too, right? I mean, that's a whole part of the fun. So let's take a look at Resident Evil. Now, it tells you right up front that compatibility is bad, right? Okay, that's fine. It's worth looking at anyway. So we'll go ahead and try it out so you guys can see what we're looking at. Now, I do still have it at 10x, don't I? We stop. Let's go back. I want you guys. I want to do the full meal deal here. Let's go back to native. Okay, let's go again. Oh, I know why. Yeah, let's go back to default. I keep forgetting that there's, a touch screen on this thing. All right, now I do have some save data here, but it's going to put us right at the beginning anyway, because I haven't played quite long enough.
Resident Evil Revelations.
The emulator is called Azahar. Azahar, yes. And let's see. Real quick, for those of you, you know what? I could probably just put this on the screen. It's called Azahar. Azahar emulator. And again, it is based on Citra, merged with Lime 3D with a splash of new stuff. If you look at the blog, it just blows you away, some of the stuff that they're working on here. Yeah. So there you go. And the GitHub to get it is right up at the top. And go over to releases. And there's a release for pretty much any system on the planet that you want to play this thing on. So, thank you for having me do that once again. Appreciate that. So we'll do the campaign here, and I'll put the screen back up to full size here in just a second. I just want you guys to see. Oh, I forgot to reverse the buttons. Great. Yeah, no, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. I should have some sort of an overlay or something, but I don't. I kind of did this ad hoc, so I wasn't actually planning on doing like a full-blown live thing, but why not? Now you see there, I think here in the middle, we've got some funkiness, but now this is all video playback here, so we're just going to skip it because it's not really representative of what the engine's up to anyway. All right, now we get to see what the engine's up to. Now, obviously, this is the touchscreen down here, but I think this is a game that we could probably play single screen. Now, yeah, okay, it does, I don't have invert look on, do it. So much for that idea. Let me go back to default, options. Dang it! This is why I had the button switched. I cannot play like that. Okay, hang on. We'll get this. All right, controls. I set this earlier. I don't know why it didn't. Oops. Camera. Oh, there we go. Camera controls. Invert. X. Perfect. Okay. Back. Ah, there we go. Okay. All right. So there we go. Now this is native resolution. Now I don't think this is running that bad, to be honest with you. I mean, they say compatibility's bad. I would expect a lot of terrible looking games. Steam Deck, yes, and tomorrow, without giving away too much, tomorrow Emulator will have this live and available. I will have a video, of course, so if you're not already subscribed here, do subscribe, because tomorrow I'm going to release version 6 of the Emulator Beginner's Guide, and we're going to talk more about this emulator on the Steam Deck. And yes, I tested it. Yes, it works good. You'll have a good time. I guess
something's here.
I'm not used to these controls, though. Hey. Not bad at all for a 3DS, right, boys? Looking good.
Think we're alone.
Of course, the text as usual. But see, we're still holding third. Well, got a little twitch there, but yeah, it looks great, right? I don't know if I would call this bad. I mean, maybe it gets worse later, but I would call this fair or okay compatibility. Maybe it completely trashes itself later.
There's blood coming from the ducts.
I don't know. I think it looks okay to me. What do you think, Administrator? Looks good, right?
No power, which means no elevator for us.
Looks pretty good. I mean, again, considering they said that the emulation or compatibility was bad, I think it might be okay.
It's not working.
Yeah, no, really? All right, I wasn't going to just sit here and play games. I kind of wanted you to walk around and see what things looked like. Now, again, my system specs are pretty beefy. Now, did you guys see that? There's some shadow, some weird. There was some weird shadowing things going on earlier. Maybe that was just him walking behind me. I thought I saw like a tentacle come down. Been forever since I played this. You can see it kind of smooths out when you've been somewhere before, so there could be some extra shader caching going on. Not bad, right? Just walking around. Definitely some loading hiccups, but again, nothing I would cry about. Yeah, there you go. All right, a few things I did want to point out while we were in here. I mean, there's only so much we can do. And I don't believe this is new to Azahar. For those of you who just tuned in, of course, we are talking about the emulator Azahar, brand new 3DS emulator. Right here, Azahar emulator, azahar-mu.org. And again, Citra-based, little Lime 3DS thrown in there. Got a whole bunch of good stuff. Definitely check out the blog. Check out their Discord. Report the problems. There's multiplayer rooms. I am not prepared to set up a multiplayer room and try it out. But yeah, I mean, there's no BIOS files. There's no nonsense. You do have to have decrypted files to work with it, and that sort of thing. Yeah, it's come a long way, hasn't it? All right. Well, I'm trying to think if I had anything else that I wanted to look at. I was really hoping that the CIA wasn't. Yeah, it is. Oh, well, that's too bad. Dream Trigger, I couldn't get past the beginning of that, but there you go. And again, if you want your games to appear on the menu, you'll have to rename them to CCI. This, by the way, is also how it works for on the Steam Deck too. I don't know whether or not the dev is going to give you an option to rename these, but we'll see. So now you see they all show up. See, perfect. Not tested. Well, I tested it for you, and I think it looks pretty damn good. All right. Well, listen. I think we're kind of done here. I showed you around. I really wanted you guys to know that it was here, that it was available. There's Amiibo support. There's multiplayer online support. And basically, it's everything you loved about Citra, and then even more. So there you go. Listen, I hope you enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. If you're a Steam Deck owner, for God's sake, subscribe. So tomorrow you will be on board with all the Azahar fun and games that we're going to be having on the Steam Deck tomorrow. I do not think you will be overly disappointed. All right, that's it for me. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate those that attended. I'm Shane R. Monroe. We'll see you next time. Take care.